Why, hello everyone. Good to see you here. Paul Trani is here with the one and only Stefanie Brückler. How you doing, Stefanie?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a beautiful day where we both are, right? When you say I'm here in Denver, it's been
Yeah, very
nice
sunny.
out. Sunny in Brooklyn.
Yep,
Oh
beautiful
yeah,
out.
into it. So very cool. Good to have everyone here. Feel free to say hello as soon as you see us. And we know chat's a little bit delayed. If you're joining us on YouTube, come over to bs.net/Adobe Live. Cool. All right. What's up, Voodoo Val, Paige, and all those wonderful people out there? It's good to see you. Big thank you to Terry and Andre and Andrew for doing their thing this morning. Now we get Stefanie for 2 hours. This is good. What is the plan today? And tell us. Hopefully, you could give us a little bit of recap. This is a day two, so maybe a little recap of also what we did yesterday would be
Yeah,
cool.
so yesterday we set up a file in InDesign, a book file. We set up columns and grids. We defined some master pages and started designing some recipe pages for the cookbook. So today we're just going to continue with the design, add some chapter opener pages, and then dive into designing a cover.
Chapter pages and designing the cover. Cool, very cool. And we're seeing your screen right now, by the way.
Yeah,
Can you kind of click through kind of what
yeah.
we did, like what you just
So
mentioned?
yeah, so we have some introduction pages here in the beginning that we set up yesterday. These gray boxes are just placeholders for images. So we're going to have some little images in between the text. Um, And then scrolling down here, you'll see a couple blank pages because what we did yesterday is also mapping out the entire book. If I go exit the preview, you see all these little notes that I left myself just for, so I know that these pages are blank because those are going to be some chapter openers. And then the next few pages are recipe pages. So design a few of those. So last night after we set up our master pages in here, I'll just do a double click. So this is the page we designed yesterday. And after that, I just went in and made some variations. So that actually is really fast to do. What you can do, let me see, I'll just go into a blank page maybe here. I have this master page setup that we designed yesterday. And if I select a page here and then right click and say apply master to pages, I could choose one of those recipe masters, and that page would then, instead of being a blank page, already have the pre-made design on it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think
Yeah.
just everything you did yesterday was like super helpful because you outlined kind of creating those master pages and what would be on those master pages.
Yeah,
Because you also inserted the page numbers there, so those would change dynamically depending on the page number,
exactly. Yeah.
which is really cool. So thanks. So and also thanks Jose and Carrie and everyone for joining us. Chantel, Laura, Keith, awesome. We're all gonna be print masters by the end of this, or graphic design masters, or something. I don't know. I like
Yeah,
the
it's
idea
gonna
of
be
building it,
great.
making a book, and then like selling it or something like that. Honestly, turning it into a gift like would be another
Yeah.
idea. Like making a if you did some family history book, that would be really pretty tough. But like it would just be really cool to, even if it's just like a one-off sort of thing to
Yeah, it could be also a really great gift for, your coworkers and stuff, like just
yeah.
sharing recipes or your friends.
And I think that's really cool. As designers, we're so fortunate that we honestly have this gift of designing, or whatever you want to call it, to where we can make things for people, and it could be like extra special, which is nice.
Yeah.
I've been giving my family like cocktails and mixers and things like that, and I usually design all the labels and do all the things and customize it per family. That's what I've been doing lately, so it's been
Yeah,
fun.
it's super fun.
This
Um,
is looking really good.
yeah, so should we dive into what we're going to do today?
I think we shall. Just a gentle reminder that we do have the challenge going on. So in the challenge tab, Andrew just talked about this, but basically we'll be reviewing those challenge submissions in about an hour and a half. So yeah, cool. And it's good to see that some people are like really into print, right? This is awesome. Michelle loves print. Would love to hear everybody's feedback as we go along. Thank you for helping us with the colors. And hopefully we can contribute to the design in some way, if that works for you, Stefanie.
Yeah, for sure. So next up, as I mentioned, we're going to design some chapter openers. I touched upon it a bit yesterday that I wanted to kind of design something that has some special printing effects. If I go into, my inspiration PDF, you can see like some of these cutouts called die cuts would be interesting to include in the book to reveal something in the page behind it. So that's what I thought would be cool for the chapter openers. I have these illustrations that I'm going to pull in, and then I thought the title could be set in a more dynamic way. Instead of just having it straight, it could be on a path. So we'll look at the type on path tool today as well. And then I'll define how to set up a die cut, so you'll know that this, like the printer knows that area is supposed to be cut out and not just printed.
Yeah, I'm totally interested in that process because I don't know how that is done.
Yeah,
so
super easy, and we're gonna have a look at it in here. So I think first off, I'm gonna turn off my notes layer so this isn't in the way when I look at the grid like this. I have these series of illustrations that I've done for quite a while now, which are some illustrations of my kitchen sink and like of all the dishes that are in there at certain times. So kind of, I like to play with the idea of the duality in this book of like the work in progress, making the meal, then the final picture of the meal, and then also having this, which is the leftover, your dishes that are in the sink. Yeah.
Oh man, have you been washing? Do you cook a lot, by the way?
Yeah, I cook a lot.
Okay, and then like that's what everybody's like, cooking a lot, and then like, can we all agree we've been doing way too many dishes lately?
Oh, it's too much.
It's too much, really. I would love cooking if it wasn't for the dishes. Man.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. So I'm gonna just add in that illustration somewhere on that spread. I want to make sure that I have that circle on the right-hand side of the page. So this will be roughly where a cutout will be as well. Oh, okay. So now we have our beautiful image. I'm just gonna lock this layer for now. I think first we want to probably add the title of the chapter, which is going to be, in this case, missing my favorite restaurants. So I'm just gonna type that out. And I thought either we could, maybe we could use some type on path going around here, but we could also scatter some letters around. Yeah, so I'll just make a path around here, around this circle, which is, I think, a bowl or a plate, probably.
I feel like this will be very similar to Illustrator, like type of path.
Yeah. Very similar. That dark path here, I'm just gonna make it a color so we can see it if it's not selected. It's a little wonky, but that's fine. Doesn't need to be perfect. We're here to have fun. Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna grab this part, my favorite restaurants, and then over here in the tools panel, I'll hold the T, which is the type tool, and then the drop down appears. So then I'm gonna click on type on path. I'm gonna select when this little plus appears above the path, I can click on it and then I can insert my text. Just gonna make that actually much larger. Yeah, it's a nice size.
I like it. How do you, what if you wanted that on the inside of the line?
Yeah,
Can you
then
move
I can,
it?
yeah, I can go up to, so I need to have this selected. I go up to type on path, and then options. And in here I can say flip. So then it would flip it to the inside of the curve instead of the outside.
Okay. Sweet. Got it.
I'm just gonna make a new paragraph style for this because this is a different size that I haven't used yet. I'm gonna just call that chapter opener title. And then this one's gonna have the same paragraph style. And then I'll probably just copy or like cut out all those letters and then place them randomly on here.
Colby's asking, do you typically do all your work designing in InDesign, or do you work in other programs like Illustrator, Photoshop, etc.?
Yeah, I use all sorts of things. So my workflow usually includes Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop. Depending on what I do, I also use Lightroom, cool. Especially when I'm like retouching things a bit more. I like using Lightroom for the initial like adjustments of lighting and stuff, and then I go into Photoshop. So usually there's like switching around all the programs quite a bit.
Yeah, I hear ya. But probably, would you say if you had to pick one, is InDesign your go-to?
It really depends on the task. I feel like, yeah, if I make books or any sort of multi-page document, I definitely use InDesign. But for logo design or anything that might just be a little one-pager, like something like a note card or something, or an envelope design, I do all that. Like anything that goes in print towards packaging design, I definitely do in Illustrator.
Cool.
Because that's also a format that a printer would expect if you're doing something like that. Whereas for a book, they would expect you to work in InDesign. It's kind of like I'm going with what the industry's like telling me to do, like dictating it. I think that's pretty much the standard for those things.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. For these text boxes, how are you getting them to auto fit the letter, or are you just resizing it?
I'm just resizing it, like, so if I make it larger and I just click the corner down here, like double click it, then it automatically fits.
Snaps to it. Okay, gotcha. That's what I was talking about. So just double click the lower right corner and it'll snap to whatever content you have. Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Missing my favorite restaurants.
Yeah, I can do that. Cool. So now we have the title. I am probably going to, start with the die cut for this one. So how I usually do that, and just to keep things clean, is that I create multiple layers for all the different things I'm making. So all the images have their own layer. All the text has its own layer. Reason for that being is going to be a bit cleaner to work with. So you can just lock your layers if you, for example, just are like proofreading your text. so that you don't accidentally move any images. But then also if you're working on a book, oftentimes those books might be published in other languages in other countries. And because of that, it will be easier for the publisher and the editor that work on this book to flow in other language options.
And that if you locked everything down and did a select all on the text layer, it would select all the text for all the pages, right? Like, or not? I don't know.
It would only select it for the one that you're on.
Okay, cool. That's what I was hoping. Very cool.
So what I'm gonna also lock the page numbers because we're not gonna touch those anymore. I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna call this die cut, which is where we're actually going to have the cut. And then I'm also going to add another layer that is maybe I'll call it die cut notes, which I don't want to be a print layer. This is where I'm just going to add what is going to be behind it, like on the next page, just so when I design this, I kind of understand like how it's going to look like once I actually have a printed piece.
That sounds good.
I'm gonna hide this first because we don't need this yet. Let's go into the die cut. So what I usually do is then, in this case, I just wanted to cut kind of along the edges of the circle or oval. Of course, it's always like easier if it's something that has like very straight edges. In this case, like there's some texture to it, so we'll lose some of that when we're cutting, but that's fine.
And I wonder how detailed they can get with die cuts.
I think
I don't know if you want to push it, but
I think it depends on if you're die cutting it or if you're laser cutting it. If you're laser cutting it, I think you can probably have more detail with it. But I'm not entirely sure of like how like small you can get. I think that's always something to discuss with the printer. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to color this in a color that I'm not using anywhere else, and I'm naming it, let's say I'm just making it a dark blue or a red, maybe a red. And I'm going to color, it's going to be a spot color. So just so the printer knows, like this is not an actual CMYK color. I'm selecting spot here so that they're aware, oh, this is a special color. And then I'm going to rename this die cut. So the printer knows like this is actually where I want him to cut it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do is just like,
yeah.
Actually, you know what? Those die cut notes and all that stuff, that's for you, right? The printer.
The notes are for me. Yeah, the printer is only going to see this. And then I'm going to copy this over to the next page on the notes layer so that there I know where my cut is. So whatever I design on this page, I'll be aware this will be visible. I am going to make this like slightly transparent, just so I'm aware this is the entire area that is going to be visible on the previous page.
Cool.
So what I want to do on this following page is actually have kind of a table of contents, but for all the recipe names in this chapter. I think what could be nice, I'm gonna make another layer for this, which is background color. And I'm going to make this page a flood of color. I'm going to make that a yellow, so it's kind of similar to the yellow of that circle. So when you then have the die cut in the end, it will just look like it's a yellow circle.
Nice. Thank you. I agree. Paige mentions her mind's blown on how simple you made the die cut process. Makes total sense, and it really does. It's not like it sounds complex. I mean, it sounds scary. I mean, it's called die cut. That's a scary phrase. Die cut, die and cut. No, it's gonna be horrible.
Oh,
and you're
no.
like, no, you just do it here, and then you make sure you copy the shape, paste on the second page. So anyway.
Then I'm going to just. I was thinking maybe it would be nice to have a number, like a big number in here, just to be like, this is chapter 1. Gonna put that in here real big. I'm just gonna make it white.
Colby brings up a good point. It would be nice to see you, like, even if the book's not done, just go through the sort of the export process.
Yeah.
And like what you'd give to the printer.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I think it would be good just exporting a PDF so that we can also see the different layers of color. So there's going to be processed colors, which are CMYK, but then there's also going to be this special color for the cutout, which is actually not a color in itself. It's the die cut. But you can see that when we export it and view it in Acrobat. So we'll do that later once we have this. Okay, so we have our big number. And then I was thinking of just listing out the recipe names. So there is the table of contents tool.
Oh yeah, I love this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna add the large recipe headline, which I think is the one that we need. Page number, I'm gonna do before the entry. And then I might make it the body copy size, or I could also define a new text size. I think body copy is fine for now because my titles are so long, like they're going to take up a lot of space. Cool, and if I click OK, I can just drag this here, and I have my contents.
And that did...
Now, what did it do?
Yeah, so I've had this issue happen before as well. Something is obviously marked a page or a header.
Oh, it's like these. Wait, I need to check what paragraph styles those have. So if I'm in the intro, shouldn't be. Are those on the wrong? Oh, those are in the wrong layer too. Okay, let's see. Text. These have, as a paragraph style, large headline. So that shouldn't be affecting this. And then this part is my large recipe headline, which I used in the table of contents. Let's have another look at that. So layout, table of contents, large recipe headline is the style that I want to include. And then, yeah. Should be fine. This is odd. So there seems to be some text on page 8, 12, and 14 that has this as a paragraph style. Let me see. And it did. Okay, so that is the problem.
Got it. Yeah, I've had this happen to me before. I mean, and like table of contents feature is like super powerful. Like I just think it's so cool. I did it for. I created like some workbook for Photoshop once. It was like years ago. So.
Okay,
anyways.
I think I got the wrong one. So let's update this. And where did that go now? Nope, my contents is very big. I might just not have a title at all for this.
Oh. Yeah. So Chantel brings up a good point about the die cut, by the way. Whenever you're done with this, I don't.
Yeah.
Because on the back side of that die cut page, hopefully that's just a blank page, but she's saying you'd probably need to take that shape and mirror it on the back side of that page to know where that die cut's going to be.
So yeah, if you are adding anything to the left-hand side of the page here, yeah, you definitely would need to mirror it if you want to add anything on here. But in this case, I'm going to just leave it a blank color page.
Yeah, so that's probably what most people do is just like leave the page blank.
But yeah,
I
definitely.
Let
me just do that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I would like to see how you do it anyways.
I just do it like no, I'm just going to do a cheater way, which is I make a rectangle that's the same width as my page. Select this, drag it over.
Oh, this is fun.
And then I flip it. Oh, here it is. Just flip it. And then I delete my rectangles again, and then you have it there.
Sweet. Thank you for that.
Super fast. Yeah. Cool. So
Chantel, very smart.
Here we have Stefanie. Yeah, of course. Thank you for bringing that up. That was a good point. Cool. So I have my table of contents here. Got all my text, all my titles. My titles are really long. This one I actually do not want to include as. I need to make a new paragraph style for this, which is chapter number. Okay, and then going to update that again.
I think it'd be fun to. Oh yeah.
Gonna also make a new character style that's just white for white text. And then this is going to be white, and this is going to be white as well. Okay. So I think what I would do is I would go in here and add some indents, so it's really obvious where my text belongs to, like to which title and page number. So just quickly cleaning that up here.
Clean it up. It's looking good. There's some amazing things you could do with die cuts. I love that, just the creative aspect of using die cuts in interesting ways for like children's books. Like,
yeah, for sure.
You know, this is like really fun.
Or like you said, you could also have, for example, if you have the luxury of having a lot of pages per recipe, you could have the recipe title and then a die cut, and you would only see some grains of rice or the main ingredient of that dish, and then you turn the page and it reveals the entire image. So there's definitely a lot of fun you can have with die cuts.
Yeah, like you're gonna have, if you have a chapter on like bread, for instance, the die cut is just of the bread, but then when you turn the page, the first recipe obviously reveals that there's more to that first recipe.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to just make sure that all the text is on the page. Okay. So now we have our table of contents. And then I'm just going to copy and paste this on this page so I know what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
On the die cut notes. I'm also going to copy this onto this layer as well and make it yellow just so I know that this page is going to look yellow. Yeah. So now you have the chapter number.
And you just have that on the die cut notes layer, right?
Yeah. So if I go into my preview, you won't be able to see that.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Into it. Very cool.
Great.
Let us know if you have any questions, by the way. Just keep those. Thanks so much for posting the Illustrator Discord. We have about an hour before we review those designs.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Cool. Looking at these, I'm just wondering if that distance is too long. I might actually try something else with that. Let me see if I can change how far the indents are here. No, I think I might have to do that in the table of contents itself. So here you can change how much space there is between the entry, which is the title, and then the page number. So you could do a space or an M dash or N dash.
What's an M dash and N dash?
An M dash is a long dash, like the longest you have, and then the N dash is the one that's a bit longer than a normal dash and like shorter than the M dash.
Okay, and the same thing for the spacing. M is going to be longer.
Yeah.
N is going to be a little bit shorter.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if that is going. Oh, that's a nicer. Yeah, let's go with that. The only thing is that I'm not sure when you update the table of contents every time, your the whole thing gets like messed up again. So I'm not sure if what I can do about that. Yeah, because you only have like the one body copy style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would make a different style. Wait, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. Then it won't mess up with the rest of the book either. Yeah, I'm gonna make a new one. Table of contents.
Thank you. Hey, Bojana, thanks for joining us. Hello to you. Hello to Warren. Feel free, if you snuck in here, feel free to say hello. We'd love to hear from you. Yes, thank you, Clever, for typing in the two M's and N dashes. I'm learning more than I expected to learn.
That's great.
You know?
Yeah.
So, are you going to bake some bread this week, Stefanie?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, you are?
Yeah, for sure. Always.
Heck yeah, she is. That's a silly question. She's got to try out some of these recipes. She has a whole chapter on bread that you got to do some testing
there is
for.
one. I just need to see why this is still going pink. Have it here as white.
Ooh, actually, here's an interesting thought. Is the M dash the length of an M and the N dash the length of an N?
It's a good question.
Can we crack the mystery of the M and N dashes? That seems to make so much sense.
Yeah.
It's like the X height of a letter is just the height of the X, you know?
Yeah.
There will be a test on this later, everyone, just so you know. It's called work. It's called your design job, your first design job that you get. That's going to be your test.
Yep.
It looks like you're wearing another white shirt and you match your walls perfectly again.
Again.
Is that if I looked at your closet, is most of your closet just like white shirts?
There's a lot of white shirts.
I knew it. I knew it.
They're
it's
all
just
like
on brand for you. That's good. That's good. Go with it.
They're all like different shades though. Like there are some that are more cream or more beige or more gray, and then some that are more white.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Varying levels of white is what you're saying. That's okay. I have a lot of gray and black. Just because, like, in the past, well, first of all, we would always wear it on stage as an evangelist because you could sweat through it and you could never see that you're sweating. Because sometimes the stage lights could be pretty intense. And then also keying out, if you're live streaming, black is just easy because it's like it's the easiest color to wear if your keying isn't that great.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I just can't wear black that much anymore because I bake so much bread and you see the flour on it.
That's funny.
So yeah, white is my to-go fabric color.
That's awesome because it's the color of flour and you do a lot of baking.
It's like, it happens, like my kitchen's not that huge, so I would sit at the dining table in the morning, have breakfast, and then go to work, and then realize my black pants have flour all over, and I'm already late for work. Man. Yeah, no, not good.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. Yeah, that is funny. I think also like another element based on the color you wear is like if you have pets. So if you like have a black cat, you're going to have black hair everywhere. Thus, an easy solution is just to wear black there. It's like how many people wear colors based on their the pet they have? I don't know. I'm just throwing out wild assumptions.
Yeah, I mean, could be. For sure.
Yeah, Dirk. Yeah, exactly. Know your basic typography. It's from the lead typesetting. Yeah, into it. Do you know why it's called uppercase and lowercase? That's also very much a typesetting, traditional typesetting. Because all the uppercase letters, even the big ones, were in the cases that were up above, and the lower cases were in the cases below. I thought that was kind of fascinating.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. What other typesetting tips can we think of that we could just make up and maybe get people to believe?
All sorts of things.
You know, another feature that I love in InDesign is the what is it called? You take the first the initial cap of the very first letter in a paragraph. How you can I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on what it's called. How it hangs.
Drop cap?
Thank you, drop cap. How you can have a drop cap drop down 2 or 4 lines, and how easy that is in InDesign is so cool.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, how do you do drop cap? Maybe you'll show us at some point, Colby. It's really you don't have to do it right now because you're in a flow. Yeah. But like when we get to a paragraph, we can show that's so easy. It's basically in your settings for that style. Yeah. It's under initial caps or something like that.
I think. Okay, let's have a look at that. If you're, let's say this is my table of contents. Was it? I've seen this before.
Yeah. Are you talking about the drop cap thing?
Yeah.
It's about halfway down.
Oh yeah, right. Here, so you can just say that's like, oh, it's happening. Look at this too.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. Is
You're
there more?
expecting
Oh,
it to
there's
be
more.
really hard. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Well,
always the first. Yeah.
maybe not in this case, but it's
No.
so cool otherwise. It
Yeah,
looks
it's
so
fun.
cool. Yeah.
Um,
Thank you, paragraph settings.
yeah.
Clever knows what's up.
I think it's gonna like take me a little while to just like clean this up and fix things. I might do that after. So we can either play around with another die cut, but it's going to be quite similar, or we move on to doing a cover design.
Oh, cover. I want to do a cover.
Yeah, okay, then let's do a
I'm
cover.
sorry, you don't have to listen to me, but I'm like,
No,
oh, cover.
no.
This would be really
No,
fun.
I think it's going to be fun.
But I want to
No.
like kind of. This is good because I want to go through the whole print process, like.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing. You're touching upon everything, and I think the cover is also very key.
Yeah, I think the cover is going to be easier to also look at with Pantone colors and all these kinds of things. So maybe let's start doing that. Before we get into the cover, I do have an ask for the chat. There is not really a book title yet, and we need a decision on that too.
All right, and yeah, what's our parameters?
I have two options, but if the chat has any other ideas, that would be awesome too. So my only ask is that the title would need to have W, F, and H in the order that it would appear in Work From Home, somewhere in the title, so that we can highlight it on the cover.
Cool.
And of course, it should include the essence of what this book is about, which is cooking at home while also working from home.
Okay, cool. Cool. I like that. So this, you have two options there so far: work from home, cook at home, how to feed yourself while working on the couch. I like the, I like WFH. Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud.
People are thinking about it in the chat. I can see it.
Work, food, home. That's good.
Work, food, home. That's awesome. I see a question about how I did the sketchy illustrations. I'm doing those by hand. I just use crayons to create those, and then I just scan it and plug it into Photoshop. I sometimes adjust colors a little bit. Yeah, quite a simple workflow.
Very cool. Work from home.
While everyone's thinking about titles, I'm just gonna start creating a new document for the cover. I mentioned yesterday that quite often when you're designing a book for real publishing, you will design the cover in a separate file from the interior pages, because oftentimes a cover would go through more or less revisions than your interior pages, and you might send off the cover to the printer earlier or later than the interior of the book. So it's like often like two processes that are in tandem, but then oftentimes like one gets sent to the printer earlier. So I like to keep them separate. And then also the cover file itself is actually a different page size. And to not confuse any printer, I just like to keep those separate so that the interior pages all have like one page size and it's all really clean.
Yeah, into it. I really like Adelia mentioned wonderful flavors at home.
That's nice.
WFH.
Yeah. So for my cover file, what we're going to do is it's going to be much larger than one page or spread from the interior, because when you're designing for a hardcover, you not only have the front and the back, you also have the spine. And then you also have that on a soft cover, of course, but then on a hard cover as well, oftentimes you would have a wraparound, which is the actual paper that it's printed on wrapped around the cardboard. So you have always like a couple centimeters extra on all sides for that wraparound on the inside. Usually a printer would give you a template for that, or just like a rough outline with measurements. In my case, I just like measured another book to see how much that is. Just gonna add some bleed. Usually it's like 1/8 of an inch in the US, roughly. And then in Europe, like roughly 3 millimeters. Cool. So I'm gonna just create that print file. Nice. Now we have an empty file. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to set up another layer on top that is called guides. That just shows me roughly where my spine will be, where the front and where the back is. So I have the dimensions. Usually you would have the spine in the center, then you would have the front page over here, and then the back cover on this side. Just gonna grab my sketch real quick. Yeah, let's have a look at it as well so you guys can see. So this is kind of the size of our artboard. We'd have the front cover here, maybe a little image, the title, the spine, and then the back cover. Oftentimes it would have like a barcode on the back cover as well, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So
cool.
Just gonna
set up all your guides, huh?
Yeah. So my guide, I think 197. Okay, and then my spine is like 20 millimeters after that. Oh yeah, maybe I should set up my wraparound first as my margins. That will be roughly 15 millimeter all around. And then going from there, I'm gonna add 5 more millimeters, which is just the safe area for scoring, because when you score the paper and it wraps around the cardboard, like that part where it wraps around the cardboard actually needs to be accounted for here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then from there we can
keep the book titles coming. If you think anything else, I'm just kind of keeping track of those.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. I think that then should come up with this.
Carol.
So this is a 237, 217. We have.
So Carol brings up a good point. Like, and maybe you already mentioned this and I missed it, but like, how do you know you do already know the width of the book, do you? Like how thick it is? How does that work out?
So that's usually something you can calculate if you know what kind of paper you print with. We don't know that yet because I haven't chosen a paper. But usually as a designer, you don't really have to do that yourself. Like oftentimes if you work with a printer, they have a set formula for the different papers that they offer. So you would calculate it based on how heavy your paper is and how toothy it is. Like if it is an uncoated paper, oftentimes it has more volume than a coated paper. So they would calculate based on how thick a sheet of paper is times the pages that you, or like single sheets that are in your book.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like some people know about this. That's a great question, Carol. Like clever.
Yeah,
like you could tell. Honestly, we could tell who the print designers are based on these questions, which are so good. But you could also talk about making a digital version as well as a print version of this book too, right?
Yeah.
You can make like an EPUB.
Yeah, for sure.
In which case, you don't really need to sweat this part necessarily. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I made it roughly 20 millimeters right now. I would assume for a page that's for a book that's like 160 pages and has a bit more of a nice paper, might be around 2 centimeters. But that really depends on the paper, so I'm really just eyeballing it here. Yeah, what I did is so our margins around here is the wraparound, is the part that you're actually not going to see on the outside. That's what you're going to see like on the inside of the book a little bit. And then here, these 5 millimeters, which I also have to add top and bottom, are where the paper is going to wrap around, like the little scoring around the cardboard, just to account for that space as well. And then this area here will be our front cover, back cover, I'm sorry. This is going to be the back cover, and this is going to be the front cover. So these are the areas that we can work with. And then we also have the spine area, which is here. So all design should be somewhere within those borders. Just gonna make it a little bit transparent so we can see our design through it. Cool. Next up, we're gonna think about how to place text on the cover, and then also how to add a little image. I was thinking back to my special printing effect slide here. You see how this book has like tiny images on it with like a little bit of an embossed border. That's a tip-in image. So how that works is that the actual paper of your cover, or it could also be a cloth like a linen, is embossed with a rectangle. And then a separate little image that is printed on a piece of paper is glued on it. So it's an extra step in printmaking that makes your book look real special.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, I might do that first before we look at options for the title. So here again, we'll add a new layer. I'm going to call that emboss for the actual tip-in area that is embossed on your paper. For that, I'm just going to make a rectangle, say, going to make it a color so it's a bit easier to see. And this is going to live somewhere around here. Might make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah, so, yeah, and your printers might have a template for some of these things as well, for like the cover and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, so usually when you're working on a book and you work closely with the printer on it, you can ask them for your specific book, like what the measurements are, and they would send you this template that basically looks like this, which already has all these guides and the margins set up for you. So you don't have to worry about it, and you just need to design it. But I did it real quick just to illustrate all the different things you need to think about when designing a cover. That there's this wraparound, there's scoring lines that you need to be aware of, and those things.
Cool.
I'm just gonna...
All right, welcome everybody who's just dropped in. Continue to design, do your thing, just letting everybody know about the deadlines and stuff like that in about 30 minutes, just to click over the schedule real fast. Continue to do your thing, it's looking good. But we have Daily Creative Challenge after this, Kyle T. Webster drawing along, and Design Off this afternoon with Voodoo Val. So that's kind of the schedule. But we're thankful you're hanging out with us right now. All right.
Let me see. Might be a bit too much of a margin over here. We'll make that smaller.
Who's getting hungry? There's a pizza place that is opening up down the street from me. It's called
Cool.
It's called Happy Camper. They're from Chicago. And basically, once you could go out to restaurants, this place is gonna blow up. It's like has outdoor seating, a big disco ball, a camper out front, fake grass, lawn chairs. So that's what I'm having. That's what we're having for dinner, I think. Possibly.
Great. Okay, so I have this little area here that is going to be my emboss. As we've seen before, it's going to work the same way as the die cut. So I'm gonna just call this a spot color and call this emboss. So the printer knows that this is actually not a CMYK printed rectangle, but that this area should be embossed.
So this is going to be a hardcover book, and this is the emboss on the hardcover.
Yeah.
Cool.
I am going to add another layer on top, which is going to be the images. For an actual hardcover print file, you wouldn't have the image in the actual file like this. You would deliver it as a separate, like, small single file. So I'm going to add this as a notes layer, kind of like a non-printing layer, just so I still see it while I design, but in the end I will have to copy this over into a new file. My image should be 3 millimeters smaller on each, like in total, than your emboss, like 3 or 4, and then you can just add image in here. Let's see. Let's grab a food image. Maybe there's something fun.
All right. Where did you get these photos?
I took them with my iPhone. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's this one that I like that I wanted to use for the back cover. Can't remember where the front of it is though. Let's see.
So yeah, Marcia, we're making a cookbook all about cooking from home, since a lot of us are doing it these days. Doing everything from home, cooking from your couch, quite literally, like on your couch. Things you can make on the couch. Just kidding.
Yes.
I want a book that's like all the things you could do without leaving your couch. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be fun.
You kind of wonder if you would have, I don't know what you think of this. This might be like blasphemy, but also practical. It's like things you can make in I'm sure there's a microwave cookbook, basically.
Oh, sure.
As sad as that sounds.
It definitely exists. I remember there was quite big cookbooks like back in the late 80s, I think, for microwave cooking.
Okay. Yeah.
Was definitely a thing.
I have, oddly enough, I have my microwave. I'm actually live streaming from my basement office that has the microwave. So if you want to heat something up, you have to go downstairs to the basement into my office and microwave something, because they didn't build it into the kitchen, and I don't like having it on the counter, just this big ugly microwave. Is that weird? But what it's done, it means that I don't use the microwave a lot, so that
Yeah.
kind of works out well.
I'm going to also really quickly show you how I'm going to place these little images in a separate file, just so we have that covered too. So what I did is I just made this emboss, which is the pink rectangle.
Yeah.
And I defined that as a separate swatch in here, just so my printer knows that this is not going to be printed, but it's actually an emboss. And then on top of that, I added my images just from myself to know how that looks. But we'll have to copy and paste those in the new design file. So I'm going to make a new document. So it's like a book is not just one InDesign file, it's actually a lot of them. So I'm gonna just make this the same size as my little thumbnail. And I'm gonna add a little bit of bleed, which we'll always need. Yeah, I'm gonna just copy this in here. And then since we need a little bleed, it's actually good that we did this now, because I'll have to copy this back in and make sure that I account for the bleed when I look at it. So I'm just gonna real quick copy this without the bleed. Okay.
I love just in chat, people are, I love hearing about people's weird kitchen setups.
Oh, what kind of setup?
If you have like if you have your freezer in the attic next to the washing machine. I think that stuff's so funny. Again, microwave in the basement. Super, just kind of interesting. And apparently Steve cooks with vodka. He blends everything in a blender and lights it on fire. So that happens. I don't know if it's maybe there's gonna be cooking with a microwave chapter, cooking with vodka chapter. Who knows?
Cooking with flames.
Cooking with flames. That's fun. That would be fun. Yeah.
Cool. So just save it as a separate file. I'm gonna call it tip in. And then what you do when you deliver it for your printer, you would just go in and you would package it so that they have all your links and fonts have the latest Creative Cloud. So
what
just make sure.
What's IDML?
It's an IDML is like a legacy format for InDesign, so it's usually an older version, like a CS6, CS4 type of version, just to make sure that they're able to still open your files if they don't have the CC subscription.
Yeah.
I also oftentimes just include a print PDF as a preview so they can see what your file is supposed to look like in case they open it and they're missing fonts or anything, or colors look weird, that they're aware of like what it should look like. Just saving that out real quick.
I also love that, I don't know if everybody's noticed. Oh shoot, I guess you can't see it. I'm sorry. Some of the screen gets cut off, but there's the no errors at the bottom of InDesign. That's kind of nice. The no errors indicator.
Yeah.
Which is good, because if an image is broke or text is overflowing weird, it warns you about that issue.
That's super important. And I also use it when I'm working in books. You can customize that pre-flight as well. And I like to include a little like that it checks if your images are at 300 dpi at the size that they're displayed at.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that they're big enough for printing.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, that's a good title. Keep Calm and Cook On, Marcia says. I like that. That's a fun title.
It's a good title. Should we did you keep track of all the titles that came in?
Yeah, most of them clever. I do have to hand it to you for submitting the most. We really appreciate that. Nibbles and dribbles, well, free at home. I like free at home.
Yeah.
Instead of work from home, while free at home. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a couple of them. Keep Calm and Cook On, which I like. Clever said work, WFH, work food home. Like that's one.
That's
Wonderful,
nice.
wonderful flavors at home. WFH, from Adelia. There's mine was WFH, WTF. So it's like work from home with the food. That was just like my contribution out of just for fun.
Really hard to choose.
Yeah, it is. You want me to send these like in chat to I don't know if I could send these to you for you to look at, or I don't know. Do you want me to send these to you? So work from home with the food, WTF. You could do Keep Calm and Cook On. I think that's like relevant to everybody being at home. The wonderful flavors at home is also good.
WFH in it though?
Which one?
The Keep Calm and Cook On.
No, it doesn't.
Nah.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't meet the criteria. But it's good. It's like
it's good, yeah.
It's good. A good pulse on kind of where we're at. But I also like wonderful flavors at home. WFH.
Yeah. Should we do that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's yeah. And it could just be the working title. You could always change it later.
Always. So we'll just lock our image and emboss so I don't move it around accidentally. I'm just gonna add text in here. So that was wonderful flavors at home.
Yeah. There's also vodka flambe at home. Like vodka, I don't know if that's like a Polish spelling of vodka. I don't know. I've seen, actually vodka might be a type of vodka too. I swear I've seen that at the store before.
Yeah.
Ooh, wonderful flavors from home. That's good.
I was thinking...
That's kind of what we have from home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Colby likes it. Too. Wonderful flavors from home or at home. I don't know. I think at is better.
Yeah.
Because it's you at home. It's not coming from your home. It's you at home.
Yeah. That's nice. So what I'm gonna
Adelia wins so far.
Woohoo! I'm just gonna place the title like somewhere in my title area, like cover area here that I can use.
Vodka's Dutch for vodka. Okay.
Huh. Cool. So, wonderful flavors at home. I'm just gonna, okay, let me turn off those guides right now, just so we can have a bit more of a look at color. I was thinking we'll probably want to have the book cover be colorful as well. So I'm just gonna define a background. And then color-wise, I might just copy some of my colors over there. Maybe, what color should the cover be? Maybe that pink color. And then,
I'm kind of working on a design too. Can I do that? Just for fun, do you mind?
Sure.
Just for fun. I can't help it. I should probably be doing the daily creative challenge, but I want to contribute to this. I mean, I'm just doing it for fun.
Okay. I'm going to now add this text as just a paragraph style in case you ever want to change that. And then I'm going to also, maybe let's go to colors because I want to get like an overall look of how that's gonna feel. For a cover, most often you'll be able to define Pantone colors for this and not just print CMYK. So I'm gonna select spot color and I'm gonna go in the drop down for Pantone colors. I was thinking that it would be nice if the book was uncoded, so it had a bit more of a like nice touch to it. So I'm gonna select the uncoded colors. I think I looked at, yeah, the pink would be 4033. Yeah. Am I in the wrong? No.
Ah.
Oh yeah, this one. Did I select a new Pantone that doesn't exist in here yet? I might have. Yeah, I might have. Let's just pick something for now. So oftentimes Pantone would publish new colors, but not update their libraries in here. And I think that in that case, you would need to like download something, but let's just pick something right now. And then for the text, I might do that in yellow. Yeah. Let's see if that color exists.
Oh, this is fun to think about. This is fun to design. I like this. I want to have like, I don't know why I want to turn this into a logo, but I have fun ideas that I'm, anyway, that's cool.
Okay, I don't think it works with color on color. I don't think there's enough contrast, so I might just make it white instead. But I think what could be fun to maybe just keep it white for now. All right. Then next up, we'll probably have to design a spine as well. So that would be this little area here. You'll most probably also gonna have like an author title, like the author's name on there. So I'm just gonna write my name real quick. Gonna make this align sort of with that text.
Sorry, I missed that question. Eric asks about what does the plus color bridge mean? I don't know where he saw that.
Oh, so if we're selecting a Pantone book, like these are all the different types of Pantone books, and I myself always get confused as well as to which is which.
Ah.
So there's the Pantone CMYK books, the color bridge books, and then the solid coded and uncoded books.
Okay.
And I'm honestly always unsure which ones.
Yeah.
I don't have a Pantone book here right now. Like we have them at the office. But then if I'm there, I usually just check the title of the book and then make sure it matches with this so that whatever you're specifying is actually the correct Pantone book that
Cool.
you're looking at in real life. But
Got it.
since I can't double check that right now, we'll just have to go with this.
Yeah, you're good.
Maybe
It can
this
be
one.
overwhelming, that
Yeah,
menu of colors.
for sure. So I'm gonna make another paragraph style probably for the spine. It's a bit smaller. Let's see. Make sure that looks somewhat centered.
All right.
And then just grab this, which is
Color bridge will show the difference between the spot color and the reproduction of the spot in CMYK, says Clever Devlin. Cool.
Oftentimes it would probably have like the logo of the publisher, like somewhere down here, like on the side of the spine. So maybe I'll just add like a little circle or something as a placeholder. Okay. I was thinking to give it a little of a fun touch, to maybe do something similar with the letters on the cover that I did. Let me go back into my recipes that I did with the what if, which are like these small rectangles. Should be in front. Yeah. To just like add a little wonkiness to it. I kind of was thinking like, you know, in an office you always have like tape or like tiny post-its everywhere. And that kind of reminded me of that. Yeah. So I was thinking maybe adding these on the cover as well.
That works. Yeah. Ties the design together.
Exactly. So I'm just going to see what size. I think that size should be okay. Rotate this. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna make that a different color so you can maybe see that a bit better. So that could be, instead of being a process color, could choose another Pantone. Oops. I think it was in here. Let me see. Maybe I can find the lilac. Let's see. Yes, it exists. Awesome. Gonna take that.
I like that lilac color.
Yeah, it's cute.
That's nice.
Let's make that this color too. Okay. Oftentimes, you would either print this or you could have foils as well. And if you specify foils, you do it the same way that you would specify an emboss. So you just choose a color that either looks like the foil should look, or you use like one of these like very neonish colors. So it obviously looks different than your design. And then make it a spot color and then define the name as to what it is. Cool. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna export this as a PDF. And then I'm gonna maybe just for now include the image just so we can have a look at it. But if I would hand this over to a printer, I would either delete the image layer or make it a non-printing layer. So let's export this as a PDF. Then I'm gonna save it as a print PDF.
Oh yeah, that might be good. I don't know if you could just do a brief explanation of pantones. I mean, pantones are really just like the color standards. You explain.
Yeah, so Pantone defines all sorts of different colors, and it's just a guide for the entire industry to be able to specify colors in a standardized way. So why we need this is because different printing methods use different materials, and like some print with pigment, some print with like inks, some printing methods like printing a silk screen, you actually mix different colors together to create a Pantone or like that color that you want to create. So it's just very helpful if you have a Pantone book to just make sure the color matches. And also every screen might be calibrated differently. So whatever you're looking at your computer might look very different at your printer screen, or your clients even. So if everybody has a Pantone book, you can just say, oh, that one color that I'm using here, let's say my lilac, might actually look gray at someone else's screen, or it might look blue. So it's easy to just say, look it up in the Pantone book, it's like Pantone number, whatever, and then they can see it and really like see the same color that you see.
Yeah. Do you so yeah, you have all those Pantone color books. I mean, I think the key are the Pantone color books. That's what you're looking at, like when you're at work, right? You're flipping through those. Mm-hmm. This is the color that you want. You select it in your app, like in InDesign, regardless of what it looks like on your screen. Mm-hmm. Stick with that Pantone color number.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah, very, very cool. And yeah, so Pantone's an actual company, by the way.
Yeah.
And
what's also helpful is that because different papers absorb ink in different ways, so some papers take up a lot of ink, some don't. So colors might look different, although it's like the same ink that you're printing with, but it might look different on different types of paper. So oftentimes on coated papers, your colors might look much more vibrant than on uncoated papers, because uncoated papers absorb much more ink into the actual fibers of the paper. So that's why it's also always good to have a Pantone book to compare. Is what I had printed at the printer accurate? Did it turn out the way that I had promised to my client? So it always is like easy then to check if the end result is what you had intended it to be.
Yeah. Very cool.
So
I was kind of disappointed with the color of the year this year.
What was
classic blue.
Oh,
it's like,
right.
It's like, just call it corporate blue. Like, I get it. Like, it's very comforting and all that good stuff, but it's fine. It doesn't necessarily elicit excitement for me, but it's all good. I'll be quiet
now. So here, if we go into Acrobat, we can have a look at our file and then see what our printer will see. So if we search in the tools, print production, and then output preview, we can, where did that go? Oh, here. We can see all the different colors. So the process plates are the CMYK that are just the standard CMYK colors that are not any special Pantone colors that we chose. And then the spot plates are the embossings and the Pantones that we defined. So here you can see that if I take off the pink, the entire flood of pink disappears. So you see the area of where your pink Pantone will be. And then here with the purple, you'll see that only these areas will be purple. And then with the embossing as well, it disappears.
Yeah, what was cool about that, it's like you really demystified the process. It's like actually easier than I thought it was going to be, because whether you're doing an emboss, a die cut, any sort of foil print, you do it this same way like every time and just add those notes.
Yeah.
Is that right? Sounds about right.
Yeah. So that's pretty easy. You can see like, how your spot colors turn out and stuff. So that's good. So back in this file, I think we're pretty much done with the cover. So could go. How much time do we have till?
Oh yeah, we don't have much time. We have just a couple minutes to get your designs in before we review everything.
Yeah. Should we then just go through and recap what we did today?
That would be great.
Cool. Okay. Then let's go back in here.
I made you a cover as well.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if you'll like it. You might. I don't know.
I think I'll love it. Cool. So today we designed a chapter opener. We played around a bit with type on path, which we did here on the My Favorite Restaurants. And then we also just placed text boxes around randomly just to have a little bit of fun. Like, this book should be fun and encourage everyone to have fun in the kitchen. So yeah, placed this illustration in the background, which is just hand drawn, a little bit adjusted in Photoshop, and then just placed in here. And then we also looked at die cut, so cutting out areas in your paper, which we then defined as a spot color, so your printer knows that this is supposed to be a die cut and not just printed in red. Also, in order to keep it clean, I like to have these special effects on a separate layer. And also it will be easier for yourself to just have a look and like know where your things are and which layers they are. Then if I leave the preview, you'll see this hidden layer, which is my die cut notes layer. That's kind of just for myself, so I know how this die cut will look like, what's on the page behind my cutout. And what's on the page behind my cutout is the chapter number, which is the first chapter of the book. And on this page, we also designed a table of contents that is automatically updating. So just gonna go in real quick. So we're in layout, table of contents, that's where you can create a new one. And then you choose one of your paragraph styles that is going to be fed into this automated table of contents. So you'd usually choose the paragraph style that is all the titles of my recipes in this case. So it's called large recipe headlines. So I'm bringing in all the headlines for all the recipes. And it will then, if I click OK, bring it up with the corresponding page numbers. And whenever you move around pages in your document and then go into layout, update table of contents, it will automatically update all the page numbers for you, which is great. So you don't make any mistakes and you always have the most up-to-date table of contents. And then next up, we went into designing a hardcover.
Nice.
Yeah.
Looking good. Thank you for that recap. And you'll have time to add anything else that you want even after we review the entries. Just so you know, we should have some extra time potentially for anything that you might have, that we might have missed. So, all right. I want to show you my cover design I was working on.
Yes, please.
Can I show you real fast?
Yeah.
Let's just switch screens. We got to switch to my screen anyway. Let me just hide that. I was actually making this in Illustrator, but I was like working with. There we go. I know it might take a second for it to show up.
Yeah, I don't see it yet.
Yeah. So I was just working on. I was just kind of playing with like a logo, and I was trying to combine home. I don't know. I'm still working on it. Mine's not as cool. It needs work. I was trying to combine a house with food. So that's what I was doing. I was playing with this, and stuff like that. So I don't know. But that's all I got for you. I was just using Illustrator. Either way, let's take a look. As you can see right out here. Here I am. Let me just pause this craziness.
Oh, now I can see it.
Yeah. So.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
anyways.
fun.
I was just like kind of working with that map locator. Boop.
Yeah,
Like,
the
even
little
if-
pin.
The pin, even if you put it on a plate, like if it's sitting down at a 30-degree angle on the, and then it had a little, you are here sort of pin or something like that.
That's super cute.
Yeah, something like that. But as for the challenge, just so you know, right over here, challenge tab, that's where we're going. Right down here, scroll down, and it's all about designing a control panel for a spaceship using outer,
Awesome.
inner glow, etc. You can get the starter file here, which is just this nice little grid. It's pretty straightforward. That's all it is. So that's what people had to start with. Yesterday's was all about making a solar system. So we'll see some of those. In fact, we could see. Ooh, not right there. Sorry, don't look at that. That's personal. Let's go in here. Here we are. Challenge. Here's your Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. You will see the Creative Challenge up at the top, so control panel. And the day before actually was designing a solar system. Cool. So you get the idea. And before that was all about designing a spaceship icon. So cool. Once you kind of dive into that, here's the challenge hashtag. This is the challenge section, and we can kind of view these. Some people are just doing challenge 2, which we'll also take a look at those. Stephanie, I know there might be a little bit of a delay for you seeing these, but we're first reviewing Xavier's.
Okay.
Which is pretty awesome. Oh, the Creative Cloud planets. That's what we're looking at right now. So planets were kind of like yesterday. It was all about the solar system, but this is really cool. Using different gradients and glows to make this look. It kind of looks like this was like airbrush, so it could have been done also in Photoshop.
That's cool. The
really
sun
cool.
looks really hot.
The sun does look really hot. Illustrators is gonna burn up.
Awesome.
Hopefully it's not actually that close.
Yeah. Love it.
But it's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. I love that. Do all the planets have like different textures, right?
Yeah, it looks like they do. Kind of looks like it's been airbrushed. That's what makes me think that maybe it was brought into Photoshop. But man, it is fantastic. 5 stars.
Oh, nice. Really cool.
5 stars.
I love the little spaceships too.
Yeah, the spaceships are pretty neat as well. Although I will say that the planets have depth and the spaceships kind of don't. I almost want to see some more shading on the spaceships. But those were done earlier before the solar system was. Here's Anthony's. Just started, close to the new... Okay, cool. This is all we're asking is like have people kind of jump in and start playing around
That's super
with
fun.
Illustrator. You know, basic shapes, selecting them, make them glow, right? Using effects. So make them glow. Do it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Challenge number 1, 2 days later, but it's worth it. The jets, you'll see this come in a second, but I'm sure this probably centered also around brushes. You have some stars back there. You could use a scatter brush for that. You could use this is just a paint brush stroke is what these look like. So that works.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right.
How cute.
Do you see the spaceship now?
Yeah, it's super fast.
It is very fast. Look at those flames. Those are so
Love it.
fast. I'm moving on to this one that's called Guppy, Gup-E. And it's pretty cool as well. It's almost like if an insect was a spaceship. So, but it's very cool. All right. Next
I see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
I like
a bit
all the
more
detail
delay
in it.
now. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm looking at like these planets as well. Ursulart, Neptura, a space rock. Just kind of floating out there. But yeah, using a number of radial gradients. Cool.
It's crazy how much you can do in Illustrator.
Yeah, it certainly is. This is interesting. I'm kind of moving on. J. Lewis's control panel. I like the ignition. It actually looks like it's kind of pressed but still glowing, which is cool. Thrusters, spacers, telemetry, boomers. These are funny titles. So yeah, this is cool. Oh, this is the sort of the window, I guess, looking out. So it looks like they brought in an image.
It feels like you're actually there.
Yeah, exactly. So super fun. J. Lewis. Again, Illustrator can be pretty intimidating, don't you think so, Stephanie? Like when you first learned Illustrator, were you like, this is kind of heavy?
I remember when I first learned Illustrator, it's when I started design school and I only knew Photoshop, and I was really good at Photoshop and I did all the layouts in there. And then our teacher was like, you are going to design logos in Illustrator now. And I'm like, what is Illustrator? And I did not understand how vector worked, or that you can't just like erase things the way you do in Photoshop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Stephanie, you know what we're working on now, though, that's going to be so much fun, is we're working on Illustrator for the iPad. And it is awesome. Like, I get it. Photoshop for iPad's pretty cool. Illustrator for the iPad's amazing. It's just so easy to use. It's kind of like what you wanted when learning Illustrator. So
yeah, that's cool.
I'm loving
it. Like, if you have an iPad, you can use your pencil with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it makes the Bezier lines and all those curves, like, it's just so efficient. Like, there's very few points. It's just very efficient. I'm looking at, is this J. Clark's? I'm sorry, let's check. Oh, Marie's. Here we go. Marie's, Helios, Hermes, Aphrodite, Hades, Ares. These are so much fun.
Cool.
There's gradients in here. Using the appearance panel, you could start to stack gradients and patterns, like one on top of the next. And you get, so this is just beautiful to look at. Lots of fun patterns. Yeah, right?
It's also super colorful. I love that.
Yes. Great use of color. I don't know if this is how it was compressed, but it's like even the background looks a little purple, and I'm into it.
Yeah, looks great.
Here we go. Marie. Again, Marie is crushing it. Look at this. I'm viewing this circular planet-like spaceship. So, this is kind of fun. This gets a little wonky right here. This this circle is a little bit off. I will say that you could always go into Illustrator, and this is just a thought, but here's a perfect ellipse. You can go into Effect, 3D, and you could rotate it. And using this might be easier if you're trying to match perspective. Use 3D rotate options, and then you'll be able to kind of just, it just makes it easier to position things on a angled surface. But it's cool, huh?
Yeah, super fun.
Everybody's having fun in here. Into it. Oh no, here comes trouble. 101 Sam. Oh man. I'm looking at this like Earth open for business, Jupiter with the sign, Neptune.
I'm still where you're rotating things in 3D.
Yeah. No problem. But like that's again kind of cool. I like this next one. It's just the solar system, and each planet is like its own little character.
Oh, this is so cute.
Which is pretty fun.
The source.
Yeah, very.
Love that.
Yeah, very fun.
I love how each system has like its own personality.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Into it. All the thumbs up. Oh, here we go. Man, there's some great ones, by the way. And again, thanks for joining us. This is just the Daily Creative Challenge we're reviewing. This next one I'm viewing kind of has everything on this axis, so it kind of has a little bit of depth. And it looks like it's showing the rotations of some of the planets. So I kind of like the lines. Some of the lines are a little off. That's okay. You know, still looks cool. I'd probably use the blend tool to make some of this happen. You'll see the lines here in a second. I'd say the planets look awesome.
Oh yeah.
I would definitely take the sun. The sun needs a glow, right? The sun will definitely need a glow. But they're all really cool. And they're using the freeform gradient tool in here as well, which was also mentioned. Can I show you this, right? Like, this is something that maybe, I don't know if it was showed in Illustrator. Like, again, I'm sorry. It's just pro tip real fast. Boom. Boom. Let's get in here. Let's take this one. Let's chop it. We just have the simple line, right? Boom, boom. Here's our simple line, right? Here's how to make a planet. We just have this one simple stroke. I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to see. There we go. We'll go to Effect. We'll go to 3D. We'll go to Extrude. I actually want to revolve it, and I'm going to revolve it over the right edge. And now I have a planet right in here. So here I can move that over. Bop. It's just kind of nice, just another way to like create a planet as well, right? Look at that perfect sphere. Awesome. I know it'll take a second for it to come through. From there, you could actually map things on the surface. So we'll go back into the 3D revolve. We'll go to map art. I haven't made anything, but I can drop in, I don't know, like, let's just do this vector grime for fun. Let's do a second. Let's scale to fit. Okay. There we go. Okay, I had it in the wrong spot, but I'm just mapping this to that sphere, as you can see right there. Okay, so anyway. Anyway, I'm done. I'm just showing some tips as we review these designs. Sorry about the delay, Stephanie.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm looking at Tiflu's as well. Got some fun stars. I'm not sure what was taught this day, but I would use the scatter. I would use the, there's a couple different ways you could use. I would actually make a pattern brush. Hold on, I'd make a scatter brush for these stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever done that, but that's what I would do. And let Illustrator make all the different sizes for these stars. But this is actually, I think what's awesome about this is look at these beautiful planets.
They're really pretty. I love the colors.
Beautiful. Yes, exactly. Yeah, color is huge. I think you're really, Stephanie, you're really good with color as well. I think I've realized over the past couple days.
Yeah, I love looking at things in color.
Yeah.
Really helps me.
Despite you only wearing white all the time. You actually do like color, contrary to your wardrobe. Just kidding.
Yeah, I do.
Same here, same with mine. I'm like, mine's mostly black and grays. I swear I like color, people. These are great again. Cool. More cool stuff. Cool spheres. Yeah. Got it. Boom. Feel free to comment on anything at any time, Stephanie.
Yeah. That's good.
I'm looking at Mayans, and there's the spheres, and then it's a person's hand. I think this one should have been titled Solar System, SOULAR. Solar System. Deep. So deep. Oh, this is fun. Again, I don't know if the scatter brush is used here, but man, I would definitely like use it. Can I take 2 seconds to do that real fast? Let's do this. Okay, this is what you can do. You ready? Can I show you this? Like, you know all this stuff too, by the way. Like, let's make a perfect star. Ba.
Yeah.
Ba. Ba. Ba da. Actually, gosh, let's make another rectangle. Put it right there. We'll make it a different color. Send it to the back. There we go. We will use, I'm gonna hold down the Option key and we'll just get rid of everything except for that centerpiece right there. All right, that's all I'm doing. Zoop. There's our perfect little star. Let's change the color to white. Let's open up our brushes. Let's drop this in here in our brushes panel. We're gonna make a scatter brush. And this is where we get to have everything be random, except for the rotation. And I do 50, 150, 50, 150. You know, this one I might just drag these back and forth, but that's how you make a scatter brush. Notice how it's right, it's right there. And now when I hit draw with a pencil, I'm basically making that. Wait for it, wait for it. Appearance panel. I don't mean to hog the stream, but let's uncheck that. There we go. Now we can make all the stars we want with this fun scatter brush. All right, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, hopefully you can see that.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Actually, we're kind of winding down. We have about 5-ish minutes. Ooh, but here's some more. Here's Fear the Terrapin. I don't know what that means. But wait for this one to load in. It's the first one that has this control panel. Everything kind of like more on an angle, which I think is cool. So good job on this one too. There's like switches. There's an alien language in here. You have the beautiful scatter brush. I can't wait for you to see it, Stephanie. So just tell me when it pops up.
Oh, I love all those little buttons.
Right?
Yeah.
They're just
and they're all glowing.
They're all glowing, and yeah, they're all made. They're all the same panel, just rotated around differently.
Love that. I love that the screens are glowing as well.
Yeah, the screens. Oh yeah, these guys. Yeah, that is cool. And then the weird language one as well.
Yeah.
That like laid out. Great stuff, Mayan. Mayan's churning it out. Oops. Oh, sorry, Mayan. That was Fear the Terrapin, but Mayan also did a great job. So great job, everybody. Doing fantastic work.
Looking awesome.
Wow, this next one too. This will be the last one I show because we've gone like way back here. But I'm showing JP Lacroix's Space Grass, The Planets Align. I don't know how this one was made. Like, I don't know. It looks almost too perfect. If this was done in the past couple days, like, hats off to you. But it's very fun. It's very graphic.
Yeah. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah, that it's just it's done really well, basically.
Yeah.
It's almost too like.
I also like the font.
What's that?
I like the font as well.
Good call. Hold on, wrong one. Yeah, actually, everybody's doing a really good job with the fonts. Like this Space Grass one's really good. So is this. Yvonne has this font as well, which is very angular and it totally works. Oh, cool. Asimov, Ray Bradbury, Arthur C. Clarke, Philip K. Dick. She's referencing lots of sci-fi writers. I don't know Herbert. I don't know who. I don't know sci-fi writer last name Herbert. Larry Niven. Very cool.
Very nice.
Anywho, we could look at these all day long. Feel free to check them out. Stay tuned for the XD Daily Creative Challenge is up right after us. So that'll be super cool. So many ways to get involved, quite frankly. This one here is also my favorite as well. Sizes are on scale. That's what the note there says. Oh, cool. Great job, everyone. I just kind of want to give us a second to focus on you, Stefanie, as well. But everybody did a great job. Like, little applause. Yay.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much for submitting.
Yes, everybody's doing such a great job. Chocolita just submitted this one. This is probably my favorite control panel.
Nice.
Ending with this, Chocolita. Perfect glows. Super fun. Into it. All right. So great job, everybody. Stefanie, I want to focus on you too, because I only have you here for a couple more minutes. We want to I want to switch to your screen, or what do you want to do? Like, I want to kind of talk to you, and like, where can we find you? How can we stalk you? Like, yeah.
Well, you can find me on my hands.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually gonna. You could easily see her Behance under the info tab, just so you know. Pasting it in there for you. But yeah. Any closing words as we have you for the last, for another minute?
It was super fun. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Loved all your contributions. It was really helpful as well. And I learned a lot myself this time as well. And it was really fun.
Yeah, it's a little bit different when you I know you work in the field. It's a little bit different when you have to explain your whole process. Really allows you to really think about it why you're doing what you do. But I would honestly say that you really demystified a lot of this, explained everything very simply, and honestly, I couldn't be happier with your stream. And
thank you. I'm really glad. I hope it was clear and made sense and demystified things for everyone, and I hope everyone learned at least a little bit. Yeah, really cool.
Totally. I know I did. I know these actually worth definitely a rewatch. Like, bookmark them, all that good stuff. Like, save them for later, because you're going to want to die cut something, you're going to want to foil something, you're going to want to learn how to create a book from a professional that does this for a living. So I just appreciate you. So thank you so much. You're awesome.
Thank
So
you.
follow her everywhere else too. But again, just jump over to the info tab and you can stalk her through.
Yeah, there's my Behance, and then in there's like links to my Instagram and all of that, Twitter, whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Well, did you have fun then? You had a good time?
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun. Super nice. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to let you all go. Kind of wrapping up this last minute. I'll leave you with the schedule. But everybody else is saying, Juan Jose, thank you. John says thanks. Jack Watson says thanks. Thanks to everybody contributing too. Like Clever had some like great thoughts and insight. And it was cool having just like all the print designers, all the graphic designers on the stream today. So that was very awesome. Cool. All right, Stephanie, I'll let you go. Thank you so much, everybody. We have Howard Pinsky up next with XD Daily Creative Challenge. So hang out with him. And thanks again, everybody. We'll see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.
Wait for it. Wait, I can't seem to click on that button. There we go. All right. Hold on. Okay.